Welcome to the Miami Sports Vibes YouTube channel, here for another weekly edition, giving my Dolphins preview. This week, we're taking on the 49ers. And listen, man, after a couple days have passed by, unfortunately, guys, the feeling is still the same. I am highly disappointed, and I see that most of you guys are, and rightfully so. I mean, I've seen a lot of things, man. I've seen people bashing Mike McDaniel. I've seen people bashing Tua, bashing Chris Greer, and I feel like it's all fair, man. At the end of the day, if you guys don't know how I feel, I'm at a point where it's like, listen, yo, the rest of the season you can forget about it. I mean, I obviously know that there is a slight chance that this team can make the playoffs, but I doubt it, man. I mean, too many things have to go right for this team to make the playoffs, and it's unfortunate enough. It's unfortunate that we're in this situation with such a talented roster, but at the end of the day, man, you got this much talent on the roster, regardless of, who's under center or whatever it is, there has to be accountability. And that's one thing that this Dolphin fan base and this Dolphin, the whole thing about the Dolphins, they don't understand. Like, we fail to hold the right people accountable. It starts from up top. And the fact that we continue to go down this same rabbit hole over and over with Chris Greer and the lack of accountability, we're going to be in the same thing. It is going to be a never ending cycle. I'm done, honestly, with these excuses. I see how it is, and it's going to stay this way. It really is, unless changes are made. And I believe changes should be made, which is why, quite frankly, I respect I'm not going to tell anybody how to fan. I respect how you guys fan. But when it comes to the rest of the season, I'm trying to lose out, man. I really am. I'm trying to get a higher draft pick, and I'm trying to put ourselves in position to kind of start stripping this thing down and do it the right way, man. I want to start all over. I want a clean sheet. I want a complete rebuild. Will that happen? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't think it will, but that's what I want. So quite frankly, I'm rooting for us to just, forget about this season. This season's a wash. It's over. The fact that we're in this position is embarrassing on its own. Denver's going to make the playoffs over us. Chargers are going to make the playoffs over us. And look at that, man. Look at you. You want to talk, right? Look at Denver Broncos situation. They had Bo Nix. That guy was a laughing stock the whole beginning of the season. Sean Payton's figured that thing out. Justin Herbert, he's going to the playoffs with a team that got rid of all his boys: Austin Eckler, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen. You guys know the difference there? Coaching, man. Coaching. Sean Payton, hell of a coach. Jim Harbaugh. Or John, I get confused with the Harbaughs, but nonetheless, one of the Harbaughs, the one that's in LA, he's doing his thing. We got a clear problem here, man. And I can't continue to just act like it's not a problem. This whole team needs a shakeup. But let's talk about this game. So you're playing the San Francisco 49ers. You're 6-8 right now. You are at home. All right. Now, a lot of things have transpired. Obviously, the last game, Jalen Waddle went down with an injury, so there was a lot of concern on there. Good news is that Mike McDaniel revealed that he's hopeful that Jalen Waddle will return to practice this week, and his injury is not significant. Huge sign of relief for Jalen Waddle. This is from Finn's Extra on Twitter. Shout out to him. But listen, I was worried. I was worried once he went down like that and everybody was down on the knee and then he went into the tent. I did like how he got up on his own, but I was really concerned, man, because that looked really, really bad, man. I don't know. It was a little bit of a knee, a little bit of a lot of things that could have gone wrong. So probably going to have Jalen Waddle for this one, which is key. If the Dolphins do want to win this game, they absolutely need Jalen Waddle to be there. In other news, also, former Dolphins wide receiver Odell Beckham has cleared waivers and is now a free agent. So that Odell Beckham did get waived by the Dolphins in a mutual agreement. I know plenty of people are happy about that. They say he sucks. But honestly, man, I think Odell Beckham had a great spot on this roster to do some damage, man. I don't believe he got the ball enough. I don't think the Dolphins used him correctly. And I don't think the Dolphins literally, did right by this man at all. I mean, he obviously had other teams that he could have gone to. He took this team, probably got sold on a vision that Mike McDaniel never kept his word on. And it's obvious. You mean to tell me that there's not room for Odell Beckham as a wide receiver 3? I don't think we got him involved enough. And to be honest, that's on Mike McDaniel. So it's complete embarrassment at the end of the day. Whether he gets signed or not, I don't know. Whether his better days are behind him, probably. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that Odell Beckham, completely sucked the entire time. I mean, the targets were just it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous, and I'm always going to defend that. In other news, Calais Campbell, they said, if this is from Barry, by the way, if the Miami Dolphins are eliminated from playoff contention, the team will release Calais Campbell to allow him to join a contender. Shout out to Calais Campbell. He's probably been one of the best players this season, but this is so embarrassing. Like, that is so embarrassing, yo. Let me cut a player so he can join another team to win a championship because we're sorry as hell. It's embarrassing, man. But let's talk about this 49er game, all right? If those of you guys that want to win this game on Sunday, I will tell you my 3 keys to victory. Listen, the 49ers have some stuff going on themselves, man. Dealing with an injury to Brandon Ayuk. They're dealing with an injury to Christian McCaffrey. They're also 6-8, and they're in a division that is pretty much up for grabs, but the 49ers simply do not want to take it. They're being handed the division, and they still do not want it. Listen, a lot of stuff is going wrong over there in San Francisco, so they're dealing with just as much stress as we are, but we got to play a game on Sunday, man. So my 3 keys to victory are simple. The first one is obviously, come on, man, win the turnover battle. Last week we had 4 turnovers. When the Dolphins are literally turning the ball over more than one time, you can justify one on Tua. But once you're throwing 2 picks and 3 picks, how many times do you see it's a whole trickle-down effect? It's a domino effect. Once you see 2 picks, you know a third one is coming. You know a 4th turnover is coming. 3 picks and 1 fumble. That's absolutely inexcusable. That's why we lost the game at the end of the day. Unable to get the ball into the end zone and just turning it over way too much. You do that, you lose. You did it against Buffalo earlier in the season. It is a disaster to watch this team when they're constantly turning the ball over. The 49ers turn over the ball a lot as well. Brock Purdy has not looked sharp this whole season. So you have to win the turnover battle. That is very important, especially against a guy over there on the sidelines like Mike Shanahan, because he will literally take advantage of all of the mistakes that Tua and Mike McDaniel will make. So you got to play a good game, because this guy, you can get out coached, and we've seen Mike McDaniel get out coached before. Second is stop Kittle. All right, Kittle has had an amazing season so far. He's probably the only bright spot in this 49ers team. All right, this 49ers team has not looked good at all, like I've mentioned earlier, but Kittle has been doing his thing. Can the Dolphins have been better guarding tight ends? I think they should continue to do so. Limit Kittle. Remember, there's no CMC. There's no Ayuk. Debo's having a down year, but that guy Kittle could turn it up on you. So you got to be ready for that, and you have to contain him as best as you can. Number 3, the running game. Where the hell has the running game gone? Because I haven't seen it. Jalen Wright out here getting like 1 touch or 2 touches. Raheem Mostert, what the hell are you doing, my man? You're in or you're out. And when you're in, you're just as good as when you're out, because you don't do anything. Devon Achane. I understand. I like Devon Achane. He's had a hell of a year. And the fact that he can do both things, he can catch, he still impacts the game. Don't get me wrong. But from a rushing standpoint, he hasn't been doing much either. Yo, what happened to this team having this deep running back like committee here? 3 guys that can run. And we were kind of doing those things early on in the season. And I'm seeing Mike McDaniel kind of get away from that. This running game needs to get going if they want to win this football game. The 49ers defense does well against the pass, and Tua has had a bad game. He's coming off a bad game where you threw 3 interceptions. All right. You do not want to force feed too many hands here against the 49ers defense, because Mike Shanahan will make you pay for that. So running game needs to wake up. I have not seen it. They have to get back on track for the Dolphins to get in position to win this game. Like I mentioned, the Niners are really good against the pass. And the fact that Tua is coming off a 3 interception game, I don't like the sound of that. And when are we going to have a game where all 3 sides play good football? I mean, it is ridiculous. It's either the offense is good and the defense is bad, or the defense is bad and the offense is good. When are we going to just be a complete team? I have not seen that at all. You could probably tell me what, 1, 2. I can't think of it. This is why I'm talking about, like, this whole thing has to change. This roster ain't it. It really isn't. And I'm talking about the core. You could keep some of the young guys. Listen, I like Achane. You could give me You want to keep Chop, so be it. But the core, man, that's where it matters, man. The GM, the general manager, and the core players. The things have to change because it ain't freaking working. For my prediction, who will win this game? You know, as crazy as this sounds, I feel like the Dolphins are going to win this game because this is what the Dolphins do. They win this type of game. They win against a team that is historically good, but having a bad season now. So then you get to say, oh, we beat a good team. We beat the 49ers, but there's context around it that the 49ers actually suck this year. And then the fact that you're not mathematically, technically out of the playoffs, you win this game to lead you into next week believing that there's a chance if, what happens if Denver loses, if the Chargers tie, if the Texans lose and a Pittsburgh tie, and all of this nonsense. The Dolphins are not making the playoffs, but these are the type of games that they win to kind of string you on for another week believing in this. I wouldn't be surprised if the Dolphins win this game, but I am not going to pick it. Why? Shanahan is a better coach than Mike McDaniel. This team has not shown me that they could go ahead and beat a solid enough team like the 49ers. I'm going to be the Grinch here. It's Christmas time. Sorry, guys. I'm picking the Dolphins to lose this game. I'm picking the 49ers to win this game. Final score, I could see this 23-20, maybe 20-17, probably something like that. But ultimately, it's probably going to come down to the end. Will Tua win the game at the end? I don't know. That clutch gene is kind of shaky, man, to be honest. Can he do it against Shanahan? My thought is no. Let me know what you guys think on the comments below. Let me know how you guys are feeling. Yo, Dolphins fan, check in below. How about you let me know in the comments where you stand on this team? I want to hear from you guys. Where do you stand? Where should we go from here? Do you still believe in Tua? Like, please, yo, help me because I'm at an all-time low with this team and this roster, man. But listen, I'm rooting for the loss. Sorry to be a Grinch here. I want a higher draft pick. I know I've heard all the talk. Oh, you should root for your team. I'm just being honest. I want the higher draft pick. I think the Dolphins lose this game. But like I said, I would not be surprised if the Dolphins just fool everybody, win this game convincingly, and let you lead to believe that if all these teams tie and lose, the Dolphins will get in the playoffs. I ain't falling for it. But that's my prediction. I say the Niners win, but if the Dolphins do win this game, it's probably because they executed on those keys to victory. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment, and let me know how you're feeling, Dolphins fans. See you guys after the game.